Every pregnancy needs utmost care and attention. But certain pregnancies need a little extra attention. An Rh negative mother carrying an Rh positive baby is at increased risk of complications. BSV is at the forefront to ensure safe delivery in every Rh negative pregnancy.
Hello and welcome to Outside View, presented by Business Quick Zone and brought to you by Puma, Food and Wellness, MRI Hospitals, BSV, and MPL. So it's going to be an intriguing contest today as the hosts take on unbeaten South Africa. So South Africa has been finding ways to win the matches. New Zealand has had a quite a roller coaster of a ride, winning 2 matches, losing 2 from the 4 they've played so far. But to discuss this match further on, I have alongside me Julia right now. So welcome Julia to the show. It's going to be an interesting contest, Julia. The news from the middle is that Sophie Devine has won the toss and she's elected to bat first. So talking about that decision first, Julia, we've seen that chasing teams have found it difficult in this tournament so far. So maybe that's the reason why the New Zealand captain has thought that let's have some runs on the board and then go and defend it.
Yeah, well, they also played India here a couple of games ago on the same ground, and they batted first and won that game. So I think they've probably got a really good feel about batting first, getting maybe the best conditions out of this pitch. It does take a little bit of turn later in the day as it extends on, and also it can be really good for pace bowlers as well. So I think they'll be wanting to put those runs on the board and then take advantage of the sort of condition changes towards the latter part of the day.
And of course, a change for New Zealand is Brooke Halliday comes in the place of Haley Jensen. Why do you think that decision has come out? What's going on in the thought? What is the thought process behind that discussion? If I can ask you that, Julia.
Yeah, obviously, I think that is trying to strengthen that batting order at the moment. I don't know if Haley really had a huge number of opportunities, but at the same time, probably hadn't been bowling as well as they were sort of hoping as well. And I think they just want to get Brooke in there. A left-hander as well, that she's a good change up of having someone else different in the squad as well. So not necessarily a bad option. They're obviously comfortable with where their bowling's at the moment. They've had a little tweak around with who's bowling through that middle order now with Leah Tahuhu sort of maybe taking over those overs that Haley Jensen would normally have in the middle overs, and she's been pretty successful with it. So I think maybe they feel like they're pretty comfortable with their bowling position at the moment, just trying to work a little bit on extending that batting order.
Of course, Dani has also joined us now. But before we get to her, let's just have a look at the playing 11. Of course, South Africa is going with the same 11. No changes out there. But New Zealand have brought in Brooke Halliday in place of Haley Jensen, as Julia rightly told us the reason behind that. What could be the thought process behind that as well. But coming to you, Dani, my first question to you would be that New Zealand have that kind of a pressure. Like when we play, we are the host, there's some kind of pressure, because I remember listening to MS Dhoni during the 2011 World Cup, and he was like, we were going to any hotel, we are going to stadiums for practice. In the nets, people are coming and they're saying that you're winning the World Cup, right? It's happening in India. So there's some sort of pressure that goes in. So do you think like performing well is one thing, but the pressure of performing well, so that would be something that's going on in New Zealand setup right now?
Yeah, I reckon performing well at your home ground, I mean, that just stays with you. So everybody expects you to, perform really well. I think, that's unexpected pressures on the South African team, because they playing the home team. But I think they've been going really well, as we've mentioned. So, yeah, it's going to be good to see them go, and hopefully they're going to go really well.
Definitely. And we, of course, know that New Zealand is going to take the charge with the bat first, Julia. And the top three, as we always talk about, that there's Sophie Devine, Susie Bates, Emmy Setotuid, and now also we include Amelia Kerr into that core group, having seen her good form. But the top order, apart from that top order, the middle order has looked fragile so far. And considering the bowling attack of South Africa, they would want to just come there and express themselves. They haven't looked at their absolute best yet in the tournament. I guess there's some technical issue with Julia. Okay, we'll get back her. But then coming to you, Rani, with the same question, we've seen that Susie Bates, Sophie Devine opening for New Zealand, and then Amelia Kerr has been in terrific form. We saw her pile up just runs for fun in the India series as well. But that would be something that New Zealand would want their middle order to perform as well, because you have the likes of Ayabunga Kaka, you have Marizan Kaap, you have Shabnim Ismail. So that's what they would target, the top three of New Zealand. So to put that good total on board for South Africa, the middle order has to step up today.
Yeah, look, like as I mentioned, the top three for South Africa has been incredible. This whole World Cup. Not taking away from Masabata class, she's been incredible when she stepped in, and yeah, it's just it's such a massive top three for South Africa, and that was the thing that bothered me for the whole World Cup. Is like, is South Africa relying on this team or this three so much that they're putting all their I guess I can't say money in a basket, but all their precious in that one basket. So yeah, look, it's going to take a lot from the South African trio, as we mentioned. We call the trio. I hope I'm not wrong about that one, but yeah, the South African trio. It's going to take a lot. So yeah, we speak about it too often. I guess we don't speak about the trio, in any other team as much as we do with the South African team. So I hope that the South African batting lineup, rocks up today and make sure that they, bring the South African, I guess, batting lineup where they should be. It's just a bit of, I guess, not luck, but a little bit of good luck, isn't it? It's just a bit of fun luck, isn't it?
Definitely. And New Zealand, as they are batting first, the South African Pacers would want that big 3 wickets there. Susie Bates, Sophie Devine, Amelia Kerr as well. But then talking a bit about Sophie Devine as a captain also, Dane, because we know that Marizan Kaap has played under her in the WBBL. She's the first non-Australian player to win the tournament. So just playing under her, there should have been some insights that she must have shared with you. So because we've seen that Sophie Devine with the ball and with the bat, we've known that she's been performing for the side since long. But if we see it in this tournament, her tactics, New Zealand is also going ahead in the tournament with the kind of tactics they are using, and that's very much in talks. So a good captain there, and she would want this win in her cabinet so as to make sure that there's no risk to making to the top four, because they've won 2, lost 2 out of the 4 they've played so far.
Yeah, I just think so that New Zealand should be a bit wary about where they want to leave their tactics. You don't want to leave it at just the bowling. South Africa has been an incredible batting force in the last bit. Everybody thinks that they're going to maybe bowl out South Africa, but it's not the case at the moment. I think tactically, New Zealand has to go back to where they stack, statistically the best team. I think people just go, oh, we're going to bowl out South Africa and we're going to chase it or whatever. It's just that typical mindset, but I don't think South Africa has proven that. I think South Africa has proven that they are a force to be reckoned with. And I think that, New Zealand, Australia, whenever they have to chase, they need to make sure that they make enough, because South Africa is on a high at the moment. Not just saying it as a South African cricketer, but just saying it as a supporter that South African cricketers at the high at the moment. And when we ride the wave, hey Julia, we when you catch the wave, look, I'm not a surfer, but when you catch the wave, you kind of just catch it, don't you?
Yes, definitely. And Julia, of course, we were talking about the New Zealand batting lineup and the top 3 out there, Sophie Devine and Susie Bates and Amelia Kerr. But the middle order, as you said, that was looking fragile. Brooke Halliday comes in there. So the South African bowler, definitely they would want to get those 3 first, because they know the lower the total, the more they get the chance to, sort of just confirm their seat into the semifinals, having won the 3 games. Probably not in a very comfortable manner, but a win is a win after all.
Yeah, New Zealand will be wanting to get off to a good start. You've got Susie Bates and Sophie Devine obviously at the top there, but and I'm not sure if it's been mentioned, but South Africa are flying in their power play with their bowling. I mean, they've got a 71% dot ball percentage at the moment, so that's going to put a lot of pressure on, players like Bates and Devine that like to really get on with it. So even if they're not taking the wickets necessarily, they're going to be high economy rate, which potentially will lead to getting those wickets. So to me, it's like a perfect storm. Sort of brewing for this opening sort of 10 overs anyway in the power play before the field gets spread a little bit. Just, you've got two fantastic bowlers in Marizan Kapp and Shabnam Ismail bowling, and then you've got that backed up with Ayabonga Kaka and also Klaas, who's been amazing as well. So it's a real arm wrestle here, I think, with the two teams today, because they're both got their strengths and their weaknesses, and they sort of are just like polar opposites constantly. So it's going to be who comes out the best with their strengths, I think, today, and who can play the best with their weaknesses as well.
Arm wrestle, I like that word. It's going to be interesting, and let me tell you, Julia, that's going to be difficult for you to predict things today. Maybe, just maybe. Just giving that
no, not at all. It's not going to be difficult, is it? Even Julia made it she made it easier. Did she not? I just wish a little bit she can be a little bit South African, like one prediction, just a little bit South African.
Just giving you the context about that. I don't want to jinx it, but she's been spot on with her predictions in all the shows that I've done so far, and I've been quite impressed. I've been glad that I might just open a Julia Price prediction fan club the other day. But Brittany was there with us that day, and West Indies have lost. So Julia was like, I don't know who joins that fan club, but Brittany is definitely going to leave that first.
That's why they pay you the big bucks, is it not?
That's going to be fun. We'll see how it unfolds today, Julia. Just don't take the pressure. I know that you've told us that the more you play, the more you understand the game better. So yeah, that's how it is. But South Africa bowling, of course. We're talking about Shabnam Ismail. We talk about the Ayabonga Kaka. Of course, Masabata Klaas, as Dani you said. But the one question that I want to put you to just sort of sum up the bowling of South Africa is, how do the bowlers complement each other? Because we see Shabnam Ismail, Ayabonga Kaka giving you those breakthroughs. Marizan Kapp was like phenomenal in the last match. Masabata Klaas, as you rightly mentioned, was quite economical, sometimes goes under the shadow. But the way they complement each other is the reason why South Africa's bowling attack has been centered in these games that South Africa has won so far.
Yeah, look, I just think that, Marizan and Shabnam obviously generally opens the bowling. So it's two different bowlers. Even though they're outswing bowlers, it's two different bowlers. You kind of get excited watching them bowl because, Shabnam comes in as this attacking fast bowler, and it's not about knowing where she's going to pitch it, but you kind of know if she's going to hit you or not. It's quite intimidating. I've faced her many times in my career, and it's certainly not nice to stand in the nets and she comes running at you, and then Marizan being really chilled. It's weird. My wife is very chilled when she runs into bowl, and she hits the bat really hard, and you kind of figure out like, oh, okay, so you're kind of sneaky angry. So they make a really good contrast with each other, and then you've got Ayabonga Kaka. First of all, I mean, she's been incredible no matter what, and then Masabata Klaas. So I mean, I'm speaking about four incredibly talented bowlers that comes in, and they can give you 40 overs. With any batting lineup, you kind of have to sit there and go, who are we going to take on of the day? And it's just about thinking, who's not going well. And if I sit here as a batter, I'm thinking, I don't know who's going to go well. And that's what makes the South African bowling lineup so difficult, because they've got still 2 to 3, legs, well, not leg spinners, but spinners that's going to come in after that. That's 70 overs, even though you're not playing 70 overs, that you need to figure out who you're going to take on and who not. So that's what I love about the South African team. It's just it's a guessing game all the time. You try and figure out who's going to be good. Ayabonga Kaka has been good, and then Masabata Klaas comes on and she goes, oh, well, but, I'm just going to step up and show you that I'm okay. It's just a guessing game at the moment. So that's what I love about the South African team. And yes, I am biased. I am going to be biased, and I will stay biased. I almost said in Afrikaans bly, because it means stay. I'm gonna stay biased. It's just such an incredible bowling attack. It freaks me out sometimes. Sorry,
Definitely, but
Julia. I'm sorry, Julia.
So it's all good.
is Julia rooting for New Zealand today? That's the question.
Well, that
Are
is the
you
question. What the first thing I would like to speak about is the fact that everyone knows that Marizanne Kapp is an angry fast bowler. Like I don't know why you think we think she's
She's not that angry.
everyone is
Beautiful.
Marizanne.
first
She
competitor? We'll
puts
put it
the
like
angry
that.
eyes on. We know how intense she can be, and it's so funny. You think she's chilled. And I did actually smile the other day when she got her fifer, and she actually had the biggest grin on her face that I have seen ever in my life, and I've got a screenshot of it because I've never seen her smile that much. So it was great to see. But
Yeah, I cried a little bit, but was that biased? Yes, it was. I cried a little bit, but it's fine.
as you should. I thought she bowled beautifully, and you obviously
That's what was my question to you, Julia. That we've asked Danny in that show, the other day, that how impressed were you with Marizanne Kapp's spell? Like, how can we just not talk about her 5-4, and that was one of the architects of the team's victory. But just wanted to know from you as well the basket of skills she brings to the table. I saw that in the first game as well, when she had come to bat, she was having a word with Ismail, telling her probably something. In the presser, I heard of the last game that. When she was departing, she wanted to finish that game for the side with the bat. With the ball, of course, she did the job for the side. But she also wanted to take the team to the finish line. And she was telling Trisha Chetty was there, if I'm not wrong, and then she was telling Shabnim Ismail, and both of them just watch the ball, hit it, get the team through the line. That is what tells you that she's a fierce competitor, wants to win, and that is the reason why you're saying that she sort of looks angry on the field, maybe. But just wanted to know about Marizanne Kapp's performance. How impressed were you in the last match from her?
Well, I mean, I thought she was amazing. I'm not sure if you're talking to me, but yeah, I thought she was amazing. She bowled so well. The team really bowled beautifully as a unit. I thought they were great together. And like you said, Klass came on, and she 2 for 23, I think she got, and so she was economical. And the sameness about the bowling attack is also the fact that they just bowl so they're stump to stump, but they have different ways of how they're actually delivering the ball, and that's what I like about. They're all right arm, medium fast, but they all have different ways of hitting the bat and how they're trying to take their wickets. But they all do put pressure on the batters constantly, and that's going to be tough for the Kiwi batters today. So I'm really looking forward to the contest for bat and ball today, particularly with the South Africans bowling at New Zealand, because I think that's New Zealand's strength is their batting, and I think South Africa's strength is their bowling. Not that New Zealand's bowling's bad and not that South Africa's batting's bad. It's just that they certainly are the two strengths that we're going to see straight up immediately, which I'm really looking forward to.
And who are you rooting for? Yeah, sorry, Daniel.
That's why they pay the big bucks. That's why. It's just spot on at the moment. It has to be. It has to be such a good, it's going to be a matchup. I'm excited. I'm excited to watch this.
Yeah.
Definitely. And who are you rooting for? Is it South Africa or is it New Zealand, Julia?
Well, we're not cheering for anyone. It's all about predictions. So,
come on, Julia. Come on. One. Just give us
the thing is, when the two experts are on the opposite side, it makes it interesting. That's the reason.
Okay. Well, what I predicted at the beginning of the tournament that Australia, South Africa, West Indies, and New Zealand would make the four. So in order for New Zealand to stay in the race a little bit, I need New Zealand to win this game today. So you guys can afford to drop a game. Sorry, it's not that I'm not cheering you on. I absolutely want to cheer cricket on, but I'm going to have to go with New Zealand today to keep them in that four.
But then they wouldn't want South Africa to drop a chance. Why would they? Doesn't it then? But that's fine. It's going to be fun. That's what it makes it more interesting. Of course, the players are out for the anthems, and we're going to see the pace trio of South Africa coming in. See the New Zealand batters trying to make the most of the conditions and put a good total on the board. Mind you that Laura Wolfart has been in good form, so New Zealand would want that they put a good total on the board. So prediction time. Who should I come to? I'll go to Dane first, okay? Julia, you can take your time.
I'm actually really upset with Julia at the moment, so I don't know if I want to make a prediction. That's what I'm worried about. Like, she's going to go opposite to me. You know what, South Africa? South Africa is in good nick. Spoken to my wife many times. yeah, they're just gonna win. Hopefully they win.
Okay, you
You
can tell me
see,
that.
well, let's be honest about this. I know Australia is pummeling teams, but let's be honest about the situation.
I love it, Danya. I'm just loving the way you're saying it. But then, okay, I'll ask you the pick of the bowlers for South Africa. Like, of course, I know there's a trio, but then one bowler who's going to just dominate the proceedings today.
Um,
I know it's
yeah,
difficult, but
I
that's
think
what makes it.
if I say Marizon, I'm this also like yeah, I'm not the captain. So you know what? Shibnam has been very successful against them. You know, she's nicked off Meg Lanning a couple of times, but it is the trio. It's the trio. It has to be Marizon, Shibnam, Aya. I cannot. I'm sorry. I cannot be away from them. Sorry, Julia, you can knock me out if you want to, but I think I'm okay with that one.
We'll get, we'll get a different prediction for Julia. Julia can tell us that how much South Africa is chasing.
Sure. I think with the fantastic South African attack that you've got, I think New Zealand will get around 230.
230.
Yeah,
Okay.
so they're a little under par, I think, because I think they're going to struggle a little bit with the, just get a couple of sneaky ones at the end there. But I just think 230, which I think will make for a very, very interesting chase.
Very, very interesting chase.
Generous. You're not generous. Very generous. You don't get it from Aussie every time, do you?
Okay, then we have our experts giving their predictions, right? The pace trio. Okay, fine. Dani, the skipper, has been a bit diplomatic about it, but that's fair enough. We'll give her that. And Julia, of course, telling us that 230 would be the total. It's going to be an interesting contest. We'll of course pick up this conversation in the mid-match show. Until then, you stay tuned to Women's Cricket Zone for all the updates on women's cricket.